Welcome to the Mindset with Morgan podcast. I am so grateful you're here. I'm Morgan, and I am a multiple seven-figure entrepreneur who adores all things business. I love building great teams and great companies who benefit the world. I've been building and running startups for nearly 15 years and have learned a few things along the way. I'm a teacher by heart, and I'm so excited to share with you. I'm also human, and I need a good pick-me-up and mindset shift before meetings, tough conversations, and sometimes just on my morning commute. My hope is that you can use this podcast as a quick mindset reset before you start your day or whenever you need a mindset shift. I also love a good funny story with a helpful lesson involved, and that is what you'll get here. Now let's learn, grow, and have a few laughs. Hello and welcome. So I hope your day is going really well. Today I'm really excited to talk about this concept because startups and new businesses are probably one of my favorite things to talk about because it's really where the magic happens. It's where you set things up for success. It's where the decisions that you make today are going to really impact things down the line. And I am a huge proponent of sacrificing pleasure now to gain later. That's always been really important to me, down to like I'm willing to skip dessert for a week so I can have a certain dessert that I've been dying for on this certain day, whatever it may be. Now, I do understand that's not easy for everybody. We all have our quirks, right? And we all have things that are harder than others. But I am going to talk about the concept of delaying gratification. And that's a big piece of your first year in business. So let's just dive right in. So if you are in your first year of starting your business or starting a new project or hustle or whatever it may be, I'm going to tell you right now, this is the hardest time. And when I was coaching real estate agents, for example, I would always tell them, the main thing I can tell you right now in your first year is don't give up. Don't give up, because it is going to be really hard. Any business that you're just starting from scratch is going to be really hard. But there is so many amazing things that happen after your first year in business. In a year, it's not going to be the same for everybody, but I think is a really general time frame for some of the things you really need to focus on heavily so that you can enjoy your business later on. The other day when I was collecting rent from somebody, the guy looked at me and said, "You're really lucky. You know, you just get to come in here and collect rent checks." And what's funny is one of my employees was sitting kind of nearby, and she kind of looked at me because she knew that I did not like what that guy said to me. And I didn't get too deep into it with him, but I said, this is not luck. Am I blessed in life? 100%. I have a bed to sleep in. I have a family. I have a home. I mean, those things to me, you can't put a dollar amount on those things. I am so blessed. I know that. But here's the thing. I'm not collecting rent checks today because I am lucky, okay? There is so much hard work that goes into getting to a point where people just look at you and think, wow, they've got it easy. Wow, they've got it good. And here's the thing. I don't think we as entrepreneurs do enough justice and show the hard parts of business. And the reality is it's because it's boring. Like, do you want to sit and watch me at my laptop for 10 hours a day? Do you want to sit and watch me pacing back and forth because I don't know what to do about a certain situation? Do you want to sit and hear me have a really challenging conversation with somebody? Do you want to sit and watch me cry as I try to figure out a problem? No, right? So we don't share those things, but they happen. Let me tell you, there is no business owner that has not had multiple get kicked to the ground, down in the mud. I can't think that there could be anything more that could happen to me that I get kicked again and again and again. And we've all had that as entrepreneurs. And it's really hard in the first year as well because everything is so new. And you are creating systems and you are changing systems, and then you're doing things one way and then you're changing your mind, and then a person quits and then you don't have money to pay payroll this week, and then you need this new technology but you don't have enough in the budget to pay for it, and everything is so hard in your first year. And here's what I can say. It's not like this forever, but it is like this forever if you don't do these things that I'm about to share with you. This is based on my experience, based on what I have seen and experienced myself. But what I can tell you is the more you delay gratification in your first year and are just okay with things sucking and knowing that it's not forever, the more you will be considered, quote, lucky later on when people see you on vacation or collecting rent checks or driving a nice car or whatever to you the thing you want to have happen is. It's not luck, right? But you got to put your head down. You got to work really, really hard and not talk about it for a while before you become an overnight success. So here's my first tip for your first year in business. Document everything, literally everything. I am a huge fan of the Google Drive. I think I've shared before, my staff wants to make a t-shirt that says it's in the drive because that is my answer to everything. And if it's not in the drive, someone screwed up. Maybe it was me, right? But it's going to be in the drive after this conversation if it's not in the drive now. You need to document everything. And I'm talking obsessively document everything. If you don't have a spreadsheet with every password and login and username and account number and a folder for literally every person in your company, if you don't have a folder for every invoice, a folder for every contract and agreement and thing you signed up for yesterday because you thought it was a cool idea, if you don't have everything saved somewhere that other people can also access it, right? Not just you, then you need to go right now, pause this podcast, you can come back to it later, and start documenting everything. I know I sound really harsh about this, but I cannot stress enough. Document everything. How to do everything. How to log into everything. How to do this little task that you do once a week. Document everything. Literally yesterday, I had to make a new system for something that I didn't really want to do, but there was really no other way to do it. And as I did it for the first time, I documented it along the way. So it took twice as long, but now I can literally take that document, which, by the way, included account numbers and a link to a tracker that I need to use to do the task, and a username, the link to where you log in to do the thing that you need to do, how to calculate the amount of what you need to do. Basically, I'm paying someone through a new system, and it's just the only way to do it. But I documented along the way, A, so I can give it to someone else, and B, so I can remember how I did it last time later. Document everything. And here's the thing. You're going to have really busy days, like really busy days, where you get on your laptop at 7 a.m. and you cannot believe that you didn't log off until 10 p.m. I get it. So here's what you can do. Start putting things in a folder. Write yourself reminders of the things you need to go back and document. It's a lot easier to document 10 things than 100 things, okay? Or 5 things than 50 things. I say that because if you don't take devoted time at least like once a week and go back and document the things that you had recently done, you're going to forget to do it and you're going to go, oh, I'll just do it next time. But you guys, next time's never going to come. And if you tell yourself you're going to go back and do it, you're not. You're just not. Document everything. You will thank yourself later. My second piece of advice, don't take money out in your first year. Again, you might say, well, I need to. Well, here's the thing. You need to be racking up a savings account like you never have before in your first year. Don't take money out. And this kind of correlates with my next thing that I want to talk about is you want a goal of getting 6 months of your fixed expenses in a savings account. You guys, I remember the first time I saw the number $100,000 in an account, and I about pooped myself. I couldn't believe that much money could be in an account. I thought, like, this is it. I'm done. There's someone's life savings right there. There it is. Well, you guys, that same amount of money went down the toilet real fast in our flood of 2019 at brunch. So I'm grateful for that lesson, though, and I'm grateful that happened because it's why I'm teaching this to you now, because I have seen how fast money goes away. And if you don't have a savings account, of at least 6 months of expenses sitting there, you guys, when something happens, it's going to cripple your business. And it might literally cripple it forever, where you can't come back from it. It's going to be really hard in the first year. And you may not even be able to get this much in savings in your first year. Keep saving until you have it. Now, this is not a general rule of thumb. Your industry might require more. That's okay, right? I'm just saying in general from my experience. Don't take money out in your first year. And when I say take money out, don't pull money from it to go buy something personally. The more you can keep in the business account and start putting it into, personally, I recommend, I'm not a CPA, but I recommend a high yield savings. That's what I did. Let that money start sitting there and growing, and you will thank yourself later. One way that I always did it in the beginning was I needed a certain amount in the account. And let's say I said it's $100,000. It doesn't matter what it is, right? Your fixed expenses. Fixed expenses, by the way, are rent, are utilities, are your phone bill, your internet bill, things that are going to happen no matter what. Whether you have a sale or not, a cost of goods sold is cost of sales. If you sell ribbons, it's you buying ribbon. If you're not selling ribbon, you probably aren't going to buy any ribbon, right? I don't know why I used ribbon as an example, but you get the gist, right? If you are a dog wash facility, you're probably not going to be buying dog shampoo if you don't have any sales, because you're not running out, because you're not using it. That's a cost of goods sold. That's a consumable for you. So your expenses are going to be at said dog washing business. It's going to be your rent. It's going to be your insurance. It's stuff you have to pay for no matter what. Figure out what that is all together each month, and 6 months of expenses. Get that in a savings account. So tell yourself, okay, this is my goal to have in a savings account. And then what do I do after? Personally, what I recommend is once you hit that number, now you have it, your net worth is at blank, 100,000, let's say. Now, what do? Personally, I like to take our profit for the month, take a personal draw on half of it, and then the other half I also put in savings. Because now I'm beefing up my savings account for a future investment. Because that 100,000 I'm not touching, remember, that's my safety net. Now, what if I want to take out a loan to build on an addition to my business that's going to generate more revenue? Well, typically with a loan, you need to put a percentage into it, a cash infusion. Might be 10%, might be 20%, whatever your bank wants. Where's that money going to come from? You're not touching your safety net, remember. So get your safety net in place, and then begin putting away half of profit into an account. Now, personally, what I like to do is keep a running spreadsheet, of course, in the Google Drive, where every single month I track what the account balance was at the end of each period, and then how much I put in savings, so I can watch it go up. And it's really cool, you guys. You might do your first draw and your profit was $500, meaning you personally take $250 and you put $250 in savings. Your draws will continue to get bigger over time. And what's funny is I feel like then those draws become so small in the future because you're used to X amount, right? Okay, now I did $250. Oh, next is $1,000. Next is $5,000, right? And the draws just get bigger and bigger, and your normal becomes bigger. But it's so cool. But you guys, you don't get to that point if you don't make the hard decisions in the beginning. My next piece of advice is to stay patient. Delay gratification. I can't stress this enough. It is okay to live frugally, to have a hard year, to have 20 amazing years. I know it's not easy, but you guys, it is worth it. It is worth it because I've seen it. I've seen business owners not take my advice and take money out and then get frustrated on slow months because they have to get a line of credit or pull money from their personal money and put it into the business. Well, here's the thing. It doesn't feel good to pull money to put it into your business, right? Avoid that feeling. I used to pray and say, God, please don't let it happen again where I have to take personal money and put it into the business. Please let the business pay for itself now and moving forward. Whatever your, that's a trigger for me because I used to have to do it a lot in really, really tough times. And to me now, it's like my non-negotiable. I work very, very hard to make sure that doesn't happen. And like I said, money goes really quick. So the more you can save, I'm not saying your safety net's going to save you forever, right? Things can happen overnight and bam, it's gone. And money's not the end all be all, but having a nest egg is a tool that allows you to make decisions in your business out of an abundant mindset, not a scarcity mindset. I have been in a scarcity mindset in my business, and believe me, when I'm in that mindset, I'm stressed and I'm no good for anybody. I'm not a great boss because I'm overwhelmed and nervous and anxious. And if an employee, needs an advance or needs help, I can't help them, right? Because I'm in survival mode myself. Do yourself and your business a favor. Keep out of survival mode so you can be the best boss ever for your people and help them when they need to. I love helping my employees when I can, right? But I need to get the business to a positive place before I can do that. That's why these things are so important. And then my last piece of advice, I could go on about this for forever, right? There'll be more conversations about this. But like I said, I like to keep it under 20 minutes for you so you can listen to me on your way to work. Remember that not everything is going to happen all at once. I remember when I started my real estate business for the first time, I kept thinking, man, I've worked at firms before where they have this person and this person doing this and this and this. It's okay. It's not going to happen all at once. Pick one thing at a time that you can focus on. There's a really great book by Gary Keller called The One Thing, and I love this book because it helps me really understand to just pick the thing that's going to make the most impact right now. What's one thing I can work on right now that's going to make the biggest impact? If I work on this, right, maybe it's going to fix X, Y, and Z, but if I work on this, it's only going to fix one thing. Pick the thing with the biggest impact. Your business is not going to go from starting to 5 million in sales overnight. It's not. But if you don't get it to 100,000 in sales, it's never going to get to 1 million or 5 million in sales, whatever your goals are. Stop comparing yourself to other businesses. They've been in your shoes. Being a startup, being a founder, I personally think is one of the hardest jobs in the world because you have to figure out how to be good at everything. And no one's good at everything. So all of a sudden now, you have to be amazing at technology. You have to be amazing at operations. You have to be amazing at organization. You have to be amazing at math. You have to be amazing at structure and spreadsheets and playbooks and guides, and also be really great at sales and charismatic and charming. And oh my goodness, like you're only one person. When you are in your first year, you are like a rag doll being torn in every different direction. But just remember that it's not forever and that not everything is going to happen all at once. Just focus on what you can focus on. And all I can say too is the first hire you make sure they are nothing like you. It's very natural to gravitate ourselves towards somebody who's like us. Our marketing director at one company recently had me interview someone with her. She just wanted a second opinion. And she's like, I love her so much. And I interviewed her, and afterwards I'm like, well, I see why you love her. She's amazing. But here's the problem. She's just like you. We already have you, and you're amazing. But you really struggle with X, Y, and Z. This means she's going to struggle with X, Y, and Z. And now as a company, we still don't have X, Y, and Z happening. Not at a high level. You need to hire someone who's not like you. And that can be really unnatural because naturally we gravitate towards people we like who are like us, right? So when your business finally has it in the budget to bring on another person, make sure that person is nothing like you. Maybe has similar values, right? But that their skills are opposite of yours, because when somebody can step in and has opposite skills of you, oh my gosh, I still get chills when I watch someone take something that I've been struggling with and just run with it and they're amazing at it. I literally laugh every time. I'm like, yep, knew that was going to happen. Once again, I thought I could do X, Y, and Z, and this person just took it and just, tore it apart, did amazing, rocked it. And I would have sat there for a year and stared at it and not started it or been a bottleneck in it. Make sure you're hiring people not like you. So there we are. Document everything. Don't take money out. 6 months of expenses. Be patient and remember not everything is going to happen overnight, and don't bring on anyone like you in the beginning. I hope this is helpful. If you are in your first year of business, I promise you your first year only lasts forever if you don't make the hard decisions now, get a little bit uncomfortable, get scrappy. I promise you it will pay off later. All right, have a wonderful day, and we'll talk to you soon.